Okay, it's 5 o'clock. I would like to call this March 12th, 2024 City Planning Commission meeting to order. I would ask you to turn off your cell phones and any other devices so not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone wishing to address the board, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. The first thing on the agenda tonight is the approval of minutes from February.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns on the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. Director Sheehan.
Before we get into the actual agenda tonight, Mr. President, just so everyone knows, the board and out in the audience, item number 8, case PO 6A24, it's the petition of Chick-fil-A Incorporated requesting development plan approval at 1805 East Marquand Avenue. That case has been continued until next month. So if you're here for the Chick-fil-A, that case will not be heard this evening. All other cases will be heard, so the first case we'll hear, Mr. President, is case PO2P24, petition of Way Engineering's requesting approval of primary and final plat for replat of lot 11. This is at 4005 South of Fountain Street.
Move for approval.
Second.
Is there someone here to represent this case? Please step forward.
Bill Terry, Y Engineers, 10505 North College Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana. We come here to do the lot split for the proposed Chipotle at the Lowe's parking lot. So we've gone through TAC, got all comments addressed, and we are here in front of you tonight.
Any questions from the board?
Everything from Plaza's been taken care of.
That's good.
Yes.
Any questions from the audience?
I do have one. When will an address be assigned?
Send Rhonda Hill an email in the morning,
Okay, on the hill.
and she'll get that taken care of.
All right,
for
thank you.
Okay?
Any other questions from the board before I call for a vote? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P02P24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. Director Sheehan.
All right, next case is case PO3A24, petition of Y Engineering requesting development plan approval for Chipotle. Again, this is at 4005 South of Fountain Street.
Move for approval.
Second.
Is there someone here to represent this case? Please step forward.
I'm back. Bill Terry, Y, 10505 North College Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana. Here to do a proposed Chipotle. I believe it'd be the first freestanding in Kokomo, so. And Chipotle's looking very excited to come be a freestander.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? There's no questions from the board. I'll call for a vote on the development plan on case P03A24. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Congratulations.
Next case, Mr. President, is case P12P23, petition of Ferris Center LLC, requesting approval of primary and final plat for Harmony Minor subdivision. This is at 1514 East Morgan Street.
Move for approval.
Second.
Someone here to represent this case, please step forward.
That's you.
This is me. Becky Fye, Civil Environmental Consultants, 530 East Ohio Street, Indianapolis, Indiana.
We on 4.
Yes, we're on item number 4, yeah. Primary and final plat for Harmony.
Any questions from the board on the final plat? Yeah, you get all getting good plat meeting?
Yes.
Any questions from the audience?
Yes, I have a question.
Please come forward.
My name's Joe Brooks. I live at 1605 East Morgan Street. I've not been able to make it to any of the meetings before. I got a couple questions. First off, I'd like to know, is it going to be low-income housing or is it going to be upper-class housing? I'd like to ask her.
These are for rental for employees with the new factory to the north.
So it's not going to be government-assisted housing?
No.
And also,
Be market rate.
Market.
and also I'd like to know, I live straight across from where this is going on. There's 5 houses, we have to back out on Morgan Street. And at times, it's very difficult with Ivy Tech to the east Element Factory to the east, and also the other factory on the other side of Toby Pike. And Morgan Street is access to the new 31, and with the new big battery factory that I stare at every day, and the hazardous building that's gonna take all the hazardous material from the battery factory and dispose of it. There is so much traffic on Morgan Street. Are these apartments access gonna be on Morgan Street or to Cooper Street?
Cooper Street.
Okay. As long as there's no access to Morgan Street, I'm okay with it, because it's very difficult to get out on the highway, on the street.
Yeah, these are directly north of the chiropractic clinic there. So
Yes.
they don't have any direct access to Morgan.
Okay, as long as it's no access to Morgan Street, because the traffic on Morgan Street is really horrible right now, because there's times I can't even get out of my driveway. And that's what I wanted to know, as long as there's no access to Morgan Street. Okay, any of the apartments?
No, they're actually building a drive around.
Because at one time, when Chrysler tried to build a bank where the chiropractic building's at, they tried to get access, which would have been right in front of my driveway, and we fought it, and you people denied that access. So that's why I was here, just wanting to make sure that wasn't gonna happen. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from the audience? Please come forward.
Hello, Stephanie Hardy, 2301 North Cooper Street. I guess I had a question for the petitioner. Last time we were here, I thought that they said it was gonna be like Gana was going to keep going forward. So then that would be the entrance opposed to actually Cooper Street. Does that make sense?
The townhouses will face Cooper Street, and they'll have access from Gano Street that goes behind to what we're calling an alley. And the garages are rear-loaded off of the alley, which faces to the east. So, and there's a connecting, it makes a loop that will connect back down near Bardock Street.
Barkdale.
Bardock
Okay.
Street.
Is there a plan or anything, a visible plan that we can see yet, or?
There is.
We're actually on the subdivision, the next case is
If you could
actually.
wait till the
Wait,
next case,
next,
we can.
okay, perfect.
Yes, we'll
Okay,
take care of that.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other questions from the audience? Any questions from the board on the primary and final plat? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P12P23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
Okay, next case is case P21A23. This is the petition of Ferris Center LLC requesting development plan approval for Harmony Townhomes. This again is at 1514 East Morgan Street.
Again, this is Becky Fye.
Have a motion, please.
Move for approval.
Second. Thank you, excuse me, go ahead.
Try this again. Becky Fye, Civil Environmental Consultants, 530 East Ohio Street, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Any questions from the board on the development plan? Do what? Do we have a site plan?
We could, because I think she wins.
We can do better than that. Pass it back down, let's see if we can do it faster.
Becky, can you just summarize it for us?
Sorry, I was not planning on representing. I'm not sure where my other fellow people are. I'm sort of involved in this project, but not directly involved. It's 14 townhouse units, a building of 7 and a building of 7. The front of the buildings will face on to Cooper Street. They'll have garages on the rear side via an access alley off of Gano and Barkdale Street, get the right street here. And these will have approximately 4 bedrooms, 3 baths in each one of them. And the elevations are submitted in the packets. They're 2-story. Yes, they have garages that are rear loaded off the alley.
I think the lady wanted to see the plans, is that correct? Sure, that's true.
Come on.
That's the only thing we got.
Yeah, I get it, I get it. She just did my bill. But you didn't, you said it like, so everyone in the TV takes it. That's beautiful. So we'll take this out. I just, I just get it.
Yeah.
It helps to make the life a little bit more.
Well, of that property. Well, this part isn't part of it, so I mean, it's, the pink part is the land so.
Down here.
Yeah. It'll be.
Can't answer for the best.
That's not part of this project. Oh, no, they're not speaking to us about this, they're trying to get.
If you want to ask the question to the
John,
engineer,
the engineer can help you with that.
say your name and address.
Everything drains.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, John, can we come over and have him ask a question on the mic so we have part of the record? and you can-
We need that on
That's all right,
record.
and then that way you give it, I want you to get your information, I need it part of the record.
Okay, but yeah, if you would just step to the microphone and ask your question, so we have it on the record.
So that, thank you.
Okay, my name's Corey Stafford. And I'm representing Morning Star Church on the corner of Morgan and Busby. And we are concerned about the drainage on that property and how that would affect, like, we're still on septic, and we intend to utilize the farm ground that we still have. And we're concerned about if there's a drainage plan that would keep that overflow of water or whatever, the runoff away from our property.
Yes. The drainage system has, the rear alley will have a series of storm inlets that'll be drained to the north. It'll actually be drained to a small detention area at the corner of Gano and Cooper. And then from there, it'll be detained and then released appropriately into the city sewer systems, which we have provided documentation and the calculations to John Pike's office.
Anything you want to add, John, we good?
No, that's fine, she answered it.
Okay.
I agree, I will affirm. So.
Any other questions from the audience? Any questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote on case P 21A23. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
Congratulations.
This case is case PO1 P24, petition of Affordable Market Rate LLC, requesting approval of primary and final plat. This is for Pleasant Brook. This is north of 4600 Coulter Drive by Walnut Creek Apartments.
Move for approval?
Second.
Someone here to represent this case, please come forward.
Good evening, I'm Todd Bauer with Foresight Consulting, 1910 St. Joe Center Road, Suite 61 in Fort Wayne. And we are here before you this evening to ask for the request for approval of a minor plat of 2 lots. I've brought, had handouts as well as put together this PowerPoint. As you can see, it's 2 lots off of Brooks Road, immediately north of the apartment complex. Both have frontage. Everything's been through the TAC committee meeting. We've met all the requirements, addressed any comments that we did have. The plat includes the dedication of right-of-way as well as an easement along the road for a pedestrian sidewalk for the next hearing issue. As well as you'll notice there's several easements contemplated on the plat that replicate easements that exist today for the drainage system associated with the apartment complex. I'd be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Any questions from the board?
I didn't have anything. They had it on there.
Any questions from the audience? Hearing no questions from the board, I'll call for a vote on the primary and final plat. Case P01P24. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
Next case is case P01A24, petition of the Portable Market Rate LLC requesting development plan approval. Again, this is at, north of 4600 Coulter Drive, Walnut Creek Apartments, sorry.
So move to approve. Second.
Good evening, Todd Bauer with Foresight Consulting once again. What we are here before this evening asking for development plan approval on approximately, the plat itself contains about 20 acres. The apartment site is around 16 and a half. The site here I've got highlighted. It represents really the southern 20 acres. In that is the 16 and a half acres that represent the multifamily complex. We have been before the Board of Zoning Appeals. We did get their approval last week as far as an appeal for a unit size as well as a special exception. We're here before you this evening to ask for development plan approval. As you can see, the project itself, at least as we've got laid out here, we've done extensive work with the city engineer. We've provided additional auxiliary lanes along Brook Road to accommodate our proposed development. We've also worked and provided a substantial amount of stormwater detention. The existing drainage patterns now, as I discussed with the plat approval, work their way through the site through some easements. We've actually incorporated that drainage pattern into our design. We accommodate the outflow from the existing detention basin, work it into our two detention basins that lie in the middle of the site, have over-detained those in some fashions to accommodate the stormwater. We're handling the 100-year event as required. We've also made accommodations that in the case of the second 100-year event, we can handle that through an overland flow. It works its way through the development, discharges back into the same ditch that it goes to now, and those calculations have been reviewed and accepted by the city. In addition, and I have plenty more drawings I can show you, but I think I'll go through this quick and then we can see if you have any questions. We've provided some mounding and buffering around the property, and we have some excess topsoil, so we're using that to do some buffering, which is shown on a landscaping plan further in the set. We also have worked with the public utilities. We do have both public sewer and water available. So far, we have moved this through two TAC committee meetings because of a delay in the BZ8 action. We had some minor comments, in my opinion, at the first TAC committee. We made those changes, resubmitted, had one change to make in this case, which we have distributed. At this point, it's my understanding we have all the local approvals except for the water company. And we're here this evening to try and get development plan approval from your board so that we can move forward with the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, and we go into a lot more detail if you want.
Any questions from the board? All good on plat?
Yep. Yes. They had one item and they took care of it, so.
The thing with the plug just gets taken care of later. Any questions from the audience on this?
My name's Richard Tubbs, 4110 Brook Road. I've got some handouts. Well, essentially, the main concern of the residents of Brook Road is, for lack of a better word, the kind of the loss of our quiet neighborhood, where we have low traffic flow and everything like that. And I've got a three-step proposal that might be something that hopefully we can get AMR to agree to. And it's simply moving the entrance where they've got it proposed in the middle of Brook Road down to the end, closer to Albright Road. And essentially the proposal also includes, the perfect proposal, let's put it that way, and this has been, I walked and petitioned the members or the residents of Brook Road and around the corner on Alto Road all the way up to Albright Road about this proposal, and I've got almost unanimous acceptance of this. And essentially what it would involve, like I say, is 3 steps. The first step would be, as the picture on the first page shows, you move the entrance to the opposite side of the development. And then the second part would be to block Brook Road off right opposite of their entrance and put a turnaround for to make it a no outlet. And then that no outlet would continue all the way around to Albright Road. To Albright Road at Alto, and it would be posted no outlet there. So essentially, there would be no reason for people to travel up Alto Road and onto Brook Road. And if they do make a wrong turn, they can turn around at the end of Alto, or they could turn around at the end of Brook. And what that would do would keep our, quiet neighborhood. And I've got some other, on the last page, I've got all sorts of reasoning for this. And basically, there are both logistics and safety-related concerns that need to be considered. And essentially, from a logistics standpoint, even with their entrance where it's at, everybody's going to end up on Albright Road. They're either going to go around Alto and end up on Albright, or they're going to be out the other direction on Brook Road and end up on Albright. So why don't we just put everybody on Albright sooner? Albright's already developed, it supports heavier traffic, and it makes sense to put them through there. And then the other thing, they said that they were building these, one of the reasons they were building these was for the Samsung battery plant to provide housing for the employees there. Well, if you're going to go to the Samsung battery plant, you're going to go up and get on 31 bypass. You're not going to go through town to get to the battery plant. So it makes sense, get them on Albright sooner. And there's also, the potential, there is some potential, I think, for cost savings for AMR as well. Because if they they're already going to construct an entrance. If they move the entrance down, that means they don't have to widen the section of Brook Road, and they don't have to construct sidewalks there. Because with the lower traffic,
Still have to do that.
well, they would they have to construct sidewalks all along their property line, even if the entrance is at the other end?
Wherever they're developing, they'd have to build sidewalks across the entire frontage, so that wouldn't change.
Okay. Well,
Even if I agree with your principle of moving the entrance, which
Well.
I don't.
okay. And then essentially the other thing, the most concerning safety issue is putting all of the traffic onto Brook Road, and that means you're going to have peak traffic coming and going on Alto Road. And one of the most dangerous curves in this town is at the end of Alto and Brook. There have been before the Albright Road extension went through, all the traffic came up that road. And there would be an accident a year, at least, on that curve where people didn't negotiate that curve and would end up in the woods. And now you're gonna go from having whatever our low traffic volume we currently have on Alto and Brook to where you're gonna drop all those cars now with the possibility when they return, missing that curve and causing another accident. And then the other thing that's not on this list that I thought of after I wrote it was that all the land down to the north of that hasn't been developed, and even some of the lots in the frontage on Brook Road, those are not zoned for, housing, or apartments. So if they're gonna put residential housing there, or a subdivision to the north, then, who wants an entrance to an apartment complex in the middle of the subdivision? So, essentially, I know I was asking for a lot when I asked for, locking the roads and the turnarounds and stuff like that, but at the very minimum, getting them to move their entrance would minimize the amount of traffic that would come up on Alto and Brook. And that's essentially my proposal. That's really all I got to say.
Thank you, sir.
The one thing I would say with the proposal, moving that driveway as you have it makes the intersection of Albright and Brook inherently more dangerous. So I wouldn't, the city would have to agree to that, and I wouldn't agree to that. Because while that makes it more convenient for you, and I got no doubt about that, it would make that intersection inherently more dangerous from a traffic standpoint. So,
Any other comments from the board? Any other questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P01A24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
Excuse me, so item number 8 is being continued, as we said, to Chick-fil-A. Item number 9, case PO 1Z24, petition of Christopher Mickey and Stephanie Dalton, requesting the City Plan Commission petition and recommended the Cookville Common Council for change in zone classification from DC downtown commercial within the downtown overlay to IS institutional uses within the downtown overlay. This is at 416 North Main Street.
second.
Please go ahead.
Chris Mickey, I own 416 North Main.
Give us a summary of what you want to do here, bud.
I want to build a group home for kids that are pretty much wards of the state and at 416 North Main.
Just so the board understands, and Chris, let me know if I'm speaking out of turn here.
Yes, sir.
We've done a few of these over the years.
Okay.
I don't remember doing one where they're wards of the state, but I know the state has a lot of oversight and
Yes,
on
sir.
how these are ran, how many beds you can have in the facility.
Correct.
So a lot of that stuff is regulated by the state of Indiana. Mr. Mickey is also, he'll be coming before the Board of Zoning Appeals in the near future for some variances
Total of 6, yes, sir.
and a special exception to do the kind of the, I don't know if we want to call it fair housing or how, whatever we want to determine it, but there's some steps that
There's a
Chris
lot
has
of-
to go through. He's been made aware of all those. Hopefully we've outlined those for you, so you're.
Very well.
Thank you. So I just want everybody to know that the state does oversee this a lot. And I know the city and the state will both have final inspections before he's allowed to open to make sure everything is up to par. And I just
Correct.
wanted the board to understand how that works, so, thank you. TJ, did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, good, that's a switch.
Covered it very well.
Any questions from the board on this rezoning?
How will safety of the surrounding properties and neighbors be managed?
So we'll have to have a 24-hour safety, security presence on site at all times. We will have limited access for these kids to be in and out. Basically, they'll be escorted at all times.
How many kids will you be able to house?
No more than 16. We don't
No
go
more
any
than
farther than that.
16?
Right.
Is it male, female, both?
Male only.
I think so.
What age?
Oh, up to 18. Typically, 11 to 14 is the largest number of.
How young
Like, zoning or the state allows up from 8 years old up to 18 years old.
Any other questions from the board?
What's the current size of this building?
2,200 square feet.
And it's commercial, businesses neighboring on either side, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How many employees do you, I mean, I'm not trying to.
Total of
lock in.
18.
18?
Sorry, excuse me. 4 per shift at the most.
Do you have enough room on your site to accommodate parking, or do you have other
We
arrangements?
address that. We have leased parking from another site
Yes.
within range.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience on this case? Any questions from the board before I call for a vote? All in favor of case P01Z24, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion is approved. It will now go to common council and be presented there by Councilman Greenfield.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Next case is case P02Z24, petition of David and Vicky Ressiter. I believe that's how it's pronounced, could be wrong. For a request from the City Plan Commission petition recommended to Oakville Common Council for change in zone classification. You know what?
We missed staff report.
We did miss the staff report.
Yep.
I got it right here checked off.
So we need to read that directly.
Has to be in
even though
there.
We already voted, right?
We already voted, but let's read it into the record.
Okay. I will tell you, that's the first time in 15 years I've missed the staff report. You believe that?
Well, we haven't had one yet today, so
I'm not sure it is
you're
the
on
truth.
rotation.
Sounds good. Okay, sorry about that. So we do have a staff report for the last case. So we do need to read that into the record. And it basically verifies what we all talked about.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait. Can I have a motion to reopen case P0?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Sheeline, can we have the staff report that I failed to ask for?
And I failed to read. Case P01Z24, this is at 416 North Main. Christopher and Stephanie Mickey are requesting a change in zone classification for the parcel addressed to the above. Per the city Cocoa zoning ordinance, section 3.27, special exception uses would be required in order to operate as a large fair housing facility. The lot currently houses an office structure, formerly a State Farm Insurance Office. This lot is located within the downtown overlay. To the adjoining property zonings are to, let's see, to the north, south, east, and west are all DC downtown commercial. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan, future land use map, this area of North Main Street is located in an area proposed for downtown commercial, which is shown below as a dark burgundy shaded area. This is on your map. Downtown commercial with commercial uses that complement a high-density pedestrian-oriented business district, primarily including entertainment, retail, and service businesses. Land use goals to encourage orderly and responsible development to promote health, safety, and quality of life for residents in the city of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to allow for a variety of low, mid, and high-intensity land uses to better ensure that there are diverse opportunities to live, work, and play. Remove barriers to the redevelopment of the vacant or underutilized commercial and industrial buildings. Per the goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area of North Main Street is defined as a local street. A local street is designed primarily to provide access to abutting properties and discourage through traffic. The traffic count for this area of North Main Street is 1,493 cars per day. The requested zoning change is compatible with surrounding zonings. Therefore, the staff recommends the Plan Commission forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council based on the information presented by the petitioner.
Thank you, Director Sheila.
I apologize for missing that.
I apologize for not calling for it. Any questions or comments? Now, we've had staff report. Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P01Z24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved and now goes to the Common Council, presented there by Councilman Grieco.
Thank you.
I just have to present it once though, right?
Just once.
Don't have to present it once.
Just once. Since the staff report got in at that time.
Yeah, all right, so we're ready now for case P02Z24, petition of David and Vicky Ressiter requesting the City of Kokomo. The City Plan Commission petition recommended the Kokomo Common Council for change in zone classification from R4 urban residential to NC neighborhood commercial. This is for property located at 2341 North Market Street.
Move for approval.
Second.
Someone to represent this case, please step forward.
Did I pronounce your last name right?
No. You pronounce it how it looks, though. It's Reister.
Reister.
Yeah,
I wasn't even close, was I?
Hey, you were close, but
close enough.
Started with an R, right?
I wouldn't have gotten there either.
Closer than most.
Nobody gets that.
All right.
So this is Vicky, I'm Dave Reister. We own the property at 2341 North Market. We would like to have it changed to neighborhood commercial for the purpose of opening a small walk-up retail establishment, bottled sodas, bottled water, frozen treats and such, prepackaged. Since we're right next to the Industrial Heritage Trail, there's a lot of foot traffic through there every day, especially during the summers.
When they came in and talked to me, I thought it was a great idea. I mean, I walk the trails a lot myself, and there's times that I would love to get something cold to drink or have
our
an
first
ice cream
customer.
bar or whatever. I talked to the administration, they were very much in favor of something like this, so we thought it was a good idea to, and maybe we could get a few more along the trails in other parts of the city as well, so,
That'd be great.
yep.
Any other questions from the board before we have staff report? Director Lana, she like, staff report, please. I can't believe I checked that off.
Okay, David, Vicky Reister, right?
Yes.
Okay, our requested change in zone classification for the parcel address listed above to be utilized as a snack shack. Adjoining properties and zonings are to the north, HI, high intensity industrial heavy manufacturing, to the south, R4 urban residential, to the east, R4 urban residential, and to the west, MI, moderate intensity industrial light manufacturing. Although the requested zone change is not compatible with all neighboring zones, these are, however, other lots zoned neighborhood commercial in that area. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, this area of North Market Street is located in an area proposed for medium density residential, which is shown below as circled on your map in the dark yellow shaded area. Medium density residential is an area that accommodates single family housing of varying types between 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre. Typical medium density housing would be single family detached duplexes, triplexes, condominiums, cluster housing, and townhomes. Land use goals to encourage orderly and responsible development to promote health, safety, and quality of life of residents in the City of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to allow for a variety of low, mid, and high-intensity land uses to better ensure that there are diverse opportunities to live, work, and play. Remove barriers to the redevelopment of vacant or underutilized commercial and industrial buildings. The goal of the City Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area of North Market Street is defined as a local street. A local street is designed primarily to provide access to abutting properties and discourage through traffic. The traffic count for this area of North Market Street is 912 cars per day. Staff recommends the Plan Commission forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
That's not necessarily.
Any questions from the board? Now we've had staff report. Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P02Z24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. It will now go to the common council and be presented there by Councilman Grieco.
Thank you. Okay, the next and last case tonight is case P03Z24, and if I messed up the last case's name, I'm really probably gonna mess these up. Petition of Conrad L. Minzer, and Anita Maximo, Bradley Minzer, Conrad Minzer, tenants in common, requesting the City Plan Commission petition and recommend to the Kokomo Common Council for change in zone classification from agricultural within the US 31 OIA overlay. This is the office industrial agricultural overlay to HI, high intensity industrial, heavy manufacturing within the OIA overlay. This is 21.877 acres, and this is north of 3660 north of US Highway 31. How'd I do on those last names?
Pretty close.
I'll take that.
Yep.
Second. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you. Commissioners, my name is Rob Young. I'm the Vice President of Special Projects with the Hagerman Group out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, specifically 510 West Washington in Fort Wayne 46802. Joining me today is Joe Dunaway. Joe is a project executive with the Hagerman Group. Also, Paul Wyman is here from the Wyman Group. I suspect every one of you, and then some, know Paul. So it's great to be in front of you this afternoon. We are speaking on behalf of H.H. Kokomo Spec 1 LLC, the proposed developer, and also on behalf of the Meinzer family. And I wasn't aware of it until we got here, but Conrad Meinzer is here representing the family as well in the event that you may have questions of the current property owner. The LLC that I mentioned as the developer does have the property under option at this point in time. The rezoning request was stated in the opening, and you have the two-page presentation in front of you as well. The property currently zoned ag with the US 31 overlay that was mentioned in the opening. It is our request to rezone it to high-intensity industrial, heavy manufacturing, HI zoning, obviously still within that same overlay district. The site itself is 21.877 acres. It is represented by roughly the triangle that you see with the green dot in the middle of that triangle, roughly at the T intersection of North 50 East and East 400 North. It does have a new address associated with it. As you can see, it's 414 East 400 North. In terms of there we go. The proposed project that we have in mind is a 150,000 square foot shell building. Many people call them spec buildings. They truly are shells, and I'm happy to dive into more of what that means going forward. The 150,000 square feet is a product that the developer is very experienced with, both within Fort Wayne and beyond. In fact, we're currently building out one of those spec buildings for SH America, which is a key supplier to Samsung SDI. That building happens to be in Fort Wayne, so they went that far out to find the building that they need to be able to supply the battery plants here. And it's our goal, obviously, to bring that same type of product much closer to Star Plus Energy. Other projects that we have done recently with shell buildings were for Crown lift trucks, also for SIA, which is part of the Forvia Group, which is a French-based auto supplier, the world's 7th largest supplier, and an Amazon delivery station, not a distribution center, but they're called the last mile stations, delivery stations. So those are some of the recent folks who have either purchased or occupied the shell buildings that we have erected. In terms of the immediate area, obviously it is changing, and you all know that better than I do as I stand here this afternoon, but you are right in the middle of both phase 1 and ultimately phase 2 of the Star Plus Energy EV battery plants. This will certainly complement other existing industrial activity, including the Stellantis plant literally across 400 from our site. And our rezoning request, we believe, is consistent with that type of activity in the area. From a community benefit standpoint, it is a building inventory issue. It is our understanding, and certainly in talking with folks like Paul and others, that there is a lack of available buildings, especially for the key suppliers for the battery plants and beyond. So hopefully this will be one piece of the cure for that situation. Certainly it can either help attract or retain key base employers in your community, which obviously means good jobs and an increase in the tax base. And why the zoning? It is, as mentioned just a moment ago, close to other similarly zoned properties in that area. There is great connectivity to US 31, 35, and Indiana 931. And we do not see this as creating any adverse impact on the property in the area. In fact, ideally, it is a helper to product land in the area. So with those brief comments, I'd certainly be happy to answer any questions that you may have, or call on Joe or anyone else who's here this afternoon.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience?
One quick note, the approval of the rezoning that will go to council, or at least the recommendation from this board, is going to be subject to annexation. So this property is outside of the corporate limits, and H8 Spec 1 Kokomo is currently going through the annexation process. That doesn't touch this board, but will go through common council. So
Is that statement enough, or was my motion need to be, just keep it?
I think ultimately this is a recommendation board, so we're just gonna give a favorable or non-favorable recommendation, and then it'll be up to council. So I think we're good.
It's also in the staff findings as well, that this needs to be annexed.
Correct.
No further questions, Director Schilling, can we have staff report?
Yes, staff report for case P03Z24, Conrad and Bradley Meinzer and Anita Maximo requesting change in zone classification for two parcels specified above to rezone from agricultural within the OIA overlay to HI, high-intensity industrial, within the OIA overlay. This area shall be utilized as a future industrial location. The approval is subject to annexation of the parcels and will become effective as of the date of annexation. Adjoining properties zonings are as follows: to the north agricultural, to the south high-intensity industrial, and to the east and to the west also agricultural. According to the City of Kokomo zoning ordinance, the HI zoning district is compatible with all zonings that border this area. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan, future land use map, these parcels located on East 400 North are not located within the City of Kokomo boundary area, therefore a designated use was not assigned. Land use goals to encourage orderly and responsible development to promote health, safety, and quality of life of residents in the City of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to encourage adequate land for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. Designate specific districts in the community suitable for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. The goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, these parcels are permanently located on East 400 North, which is defined as being a major arterial. A major arterial is a street with access control, restricted parking, collects and distributes traffic to and from minor arterials. Traffic count for this area of East 400 North is 3,404 cars per day. The staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
Any questions from the board? Now we've had staff report. Any questions from the audience?
With this being the wellhead protection overlay, what provisions are you putting in place to be able to protect the landform pollution?
Well, we begin the permitting process tomorrow with Greg at 10 o'clock in the morning, so we'll learn more about water pollution control measures and things of that nature here in Kokomo and Howard County. Best answer perhaps, Commissioner, is to draw on our current facility is very well received. Basically, the heart of other industrial parks, more in the Fort Wayne area. When we'll be back in front of the regulating bodies, we'll certainly outline the site plan, the provisions there, the overall look and feel of the property itself, so the best answer is we'll follow the rules and regs of the jurisdictional body and undergo the processes that candidly we've undergone for 116 years as one of the largest and well-respected builders here in the state of Indiana.
Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P03Z24, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved. It will now go to common council and presented there by Councilman Grieco.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you. Director Sheeline, anything under other business?
I have no other business tonight, Mr. President.
Next on the agenda is approval of claims.
I move to approve claims in on $25,478.84.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval of claims, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Claims are approved. For your information, the county does have a meeting.
Yes, we have about 5 cases.
Need a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good catch, Tyler.
Thanks, everybody.